You know that feeling, that little worry when you think about speaking English, the whole what if I sound wrong thing.
Oh, yeah, that hesitation, that fear of not being perfect. It's pretty much universal for language learners, isn't it?
Totally. And that's exactly what we're going to dig into today.
Right. We're looking at how to get past that feeling.
You know, shake off those nerves and just speak more easily.
Yeah, it's super practical stuff. Really beginner-friendly advice.
More comfortable speaking English.
Break it down so you feel like, okay, I can actually do this.
Where do we even start? How do you begin chipping away at it?
Well, yeah, there's actual science behind it. See, when you tackle something small, something manageable, and you succeed, that gives you a little boost.
Like a mini victory.
Exactly, a small win. And your brain likes that, gives you a bit of dopamine, makes you feel good, motivated.
Ah, okay.
So these little wins, they build up, they give you the confidence, the sort of momentum to try slightly bigger things later on.
Right, like laying one brick at a time instead of trying to lift the whole wall. So what does starting small look like for speaking English, practically?
Simple things you do all the time, like just introducing yourself.
Okay, hi, I'm...
Yeah. Or asking for basic directions. Or even just, making small talk about the weather. Nice day, isn't it? Things like that.
Stuff that comes up constantly.
Exactly. If you can get comfortable with just a few key phrases for those everyday situations, that's a huge first step. It makes real-world interactions feel less scary right away.
Yeah, okay, so it's not about delivering a perfect speech on day one. It's maybe just feeling okay asking where the nearest coffee shop is.
Precisely. Build that foundation of just comfortable, everyday chat. Now, of course, when you do start speaking, you're going to run into that other big fear.
Mistakes. That moment when you know you didn't quite say it right. Ugh.
Feels like a big deal, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Basically, that slipping up, making those mistakes can actually be really good for learning.
Wait, really? Good? How?
Well, think about it. When you mess up, you kind of have to stop and think, okay, what went wrong there?
Right, you analyze it.
You have to actively figure out the difference between what you wanted to say and what you actually said, and then you correct it. That whole process, that active thinking, actually helps cement the right way in your brain. It makes the memory stronger.
So the mistake forces you to engage more deeply than just passively hearing the right way?
Exactly. It's active learning. About the non-native speaker who wrote the longest English fan fiction ever.
Whoa, seriously, that sounds massive.
It is. Imagine how many sentences, how many chances to get things slightly wrong, awkward phrasing, grammar slip-ups.
Yeah, thousands upon thousands.
But this person just kept going.
Yeah.
They didn't let the mistakes stop them. Every error, every correction just became part of the process. It helped them get better. It really flips how you see mistakes, doesn't it? They're not roadblocks.
They're building blocks.
That's it. Essential building blocks.
Okay, wow, that's actually really encouraging. Start small, don't sweat the mistakes too much. What's next after you get over that initial hurdle?
The next thing they really emphasize is listening. Like really active listening, even before you worry too much about speaking yourself.
Okay. That seems a bit counterintuitive if the goal is to speak. Why is just listening so important?
Because it helps you absorb the natural rhythm of the language,
Yeah.
the intonation, the musicality of it,
Yeah.
the pronunciation.
The way words flow together.
Exactly. It's not just about understanding the words themselves, but hearing how native speakers actually sound, how they stress words, how they connect sentences. You build this kind of intuitive feel for it that's really hard to get just from reading grammar rules.
So you're tuning your ear first.
Precisely. Just listening to conversations if you can. And then this is key. Try to actually copy what you hear.
Mimic them.
Yeah, pay attention to their tone, maybe even their accent, not just the words.
Kind of like pre-shadowing, before you even get to actual shadowing.
Kind of, yeah. Training your ear and sort of getting your mouth ready to make those sounds and rhythms.
Got it. Okay, listen first, then start speaking. Embrace the mistakes. What's the next piece of the puzzle?
Then in chunks.
Chunks.
Sort of. It's about learning phrases or groups of words that often go together. Things like take a break or make a decision or how's it going?
Oh, I see. So not just learning the word make and decision separately, but learning make a decision as one unit.
Exactly. Because that's how people actually talk. We use these pre-made phrases all the time.
Right. And what's the benefit of learning them like that?
Well, it takes a lot of the mental effort out of building sentences from scratch, word by word. If you have these chunks ready to go, you can speak more smoothly, more naturally. It just flows better.
Okay. Yeah, that makes a ton of sense. It's like having building blocks for sentences already made. How do you find these chunks?
Paying attention when you're listening or reading. Notice phrases that pop up again and again.
In those podcasts and movies we were talking about.
Yep. And also using English learning apps. Lots of them are designed specifically to teach these common phrases, these collocations.
Any specific app recommendations?
Often free or beginner friendly. Duolingo for general vocab and phrase building. HelloTalk is great for actually chatting with native speakers. You pick up chunks like crazy in real conversation.
Yeah.
And then things like BBC Learning English or Elsa Speak for focusing more on listening and pronunciation, which helps you hear and use those chunks correctly.
Once you're listening, building vocabulary with chunks, what helps you actually use it more confidently?
Well, the next logical thing is finding someone to practice with, a speaking partner.
Ah, yeah. That can feel like a big step for some people. Kind of scary.
It definitely can be. Just talking takes some of the pressure off.
Makes it more fun, maybe. Less intimidating. But where do you find this magical speaking partner?
Well, start with people you know. Any friends learning English, too? That's an easy start.
Actively seeking out those practice opportunities. Okay, those are handy phrases. Now, something else that holds people back. That feeling about their accent.
Oh, big time. It's a huge barrier for so many learners. This worry that they sound wrong, or that people won't understand them or even judge them.
Yeah, that self-consciousness is real.
Your accent is part of who you are. It shows your story, your background. It's something to be, well, proud of.
It's proof you know more than one language. That's pretty cool.
Exactly. And honestly, most people you talk to, they're focused on what you're saying, not exactly how you're saying it. If they can understand you, the accent is just you. It's part of your unique voice.
So the aim isn't necessarily to sound like you're from London or New York.
Not at all. Clarity is key,
Right.
but embrace your accent. It actually helps build confidence. And speaking of building things, exactly, acknowledging your progress, no matter how small it feels, it's really important for keeping that motivation up.
Why does that help so much?
Because learning takes time, right? And sometimes it feels slow. So actually stopping and saying, hey, I learned 5 new phrases this week, or I had a short conversation, it reinforces that your effort is making a difference. It keeps you going.
Giving yourself that little pat on the back.
Is when you listen to someone speaking English, usually
Right.
a native speaker, and you repeat what they say almost immediately after them, like right on their heels.
Oh, wow. So you're trying to copy everything. The speed, the rhythm, the pronunciation.
Exactly. You're trying to mimic the sound of their speech as closely as you can, like being their verbal shadow or echo.
Huh. And that helps.
Apparently, yes. Research shows it's really effective for improving your pronunciation, getting that English rhythm and intonation down, and it even makes your listening skills sharper because you have to focus so intensely on the sounds.
That sounds like a really active, focused practice. What kind of stuff should you shadow?
Podcasts, movie dialogue, YouTube videos,
Mm-hmm.
something where the speech is clear and it's at a level you can mostly follow. If you like the content, you're more likely to stick with it.
I could see shadowing lines from a favorite movie. Might be fun.
Maybe just 5 or 10 minutes a day. Consistency is the key.
Little and often. Makes sense. Build it into a habit. Okay, another thing learners get stuck on. Perfect grammar.
Right. It's that perfectionism getting in the way again. Just getting your message across is the main goal when you're starting out.
Being understood is more important than being grammatically flawless.
Absolutely. I mean, let's be honest. Even native speakers make grammar mistakes all the time in casual conversation. The focus should be communication. And linked to that, they talked about making sure the whole process is actually fun.
Yes, please. Learning shouldn't feel like torture. How do you make learning English fun?
Well, connect it to things you already like doing. TV shows you love, but with English subtitles on.
Ah, the sneaky learning method. You're just enjoying the show, but your brain is soaking stuff up.
Exactly. Wen even mentioned Stephen Krashen's ideas about comprehensible input. Basically, we learn best when we understand the message in a context that's interesting to us. Watching something engaging provides that perfect context. New words just stick better.
Yeah, you see how the language is actually used.
And you can do that with anything. Listen to English music you like, read books or comics in English, follow social media accounts about your hobbies that are in English, turn your fun time into, well, slightly productive fun time.
Love that. Making it part of your life, not a separate chore. Okay, did they have another batch of vocabulary?
Yep, a final few useful ones. Put somebody off something.
Meaning, like, make you not want to do it? His terrible singing put me off joining the choir.
Exactly. Burnout, which we mentioned, that feeling of being totally exhausted and drained, usually from working too hard.
Something to avoid with English practice. Pace yourself.
Definitely. Then keep it up. Just a simple way to encourage someone, like continue doing well,
Nice. What else?
wear somebody out. Similar to burnout, just means making someone really tired.
Trying to understand phrasal verbs wears me out sometimes.
Yeah. And lastly, slack off, which means being lazy, not putting in the effort.
Okay, so try not to slack off, but also don't wear yourself out or get burnt out. Got it.
It's a balance. Basically, it boils down to this. You don't need to be perfect to start. Just start speaking. Even simple sentences, small steps. And remember, mistakes are okay. They're normal. They're actually how you learn.
And don't hide your accent.
Absolutely not. Wear it like a badge of honor. As they said, it's part of your journey.